Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for coming out. We are going to start shortly, but before we start, I would like to have Pastor Roberts come and give a few words and give a blessing over this precious event today. So Pastor Roberts, if you would come forward, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Man, she had me to say a few words. I'm lost for words, but I'm just so happy to see everyone here today on this occasion. A great turnout, and we ask God blessing over this, and He gave us traveling mercy, those that have traveled far and near to make this occasion a success. Let's look to the Lord at this time. Gracious Father, we come and thanking you once again for your goodness and your loving kindness and your tender mercies. As we go forward today, oh God, we ask that you look on this occasion, bless those who have worked so diligently down through the years to bring this to par. We ask your blessings upon it today as we go forth, oh God, that everything will be all right. And, oh God, as we travel down through the years after this occasion, when people come through Gettysburg, they can see this situation, how it had started all the way from the beginning, all the way to the finishing part. Bless every endeavor that's going forth. Bless everyone who have contributed down through the years. We thank you and we give you all the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Roberts. Well, good afternoon again, and thank you all again for being here for this very special day. My name is Jean Green, and I am president of Lincoln Cemetery Project Association. Our organization cares for Gettysburg's only Black cemetery, the resting place of more than 450 members of our community, including veterans of nearly every war, slaves and freedom seekers, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and generations of families who made this town their home. Lincoln Cemetery is proud to partner with Gettysburg History to make this announcement today. The Hopkins House will be the first museum in downtown Gettysburg devoted to Black history, and I believe it will be one of the most important projects our community has ever seen. My own family, our roots here go back to 1890. Like so many other, my ancestors came to Gettysburg looking for opportunity and a better life for their children. Gettysburg is my home, and I stand here today on the shoulders of so many men and women who came before me. One of those people is Betty Myers, who for decades carried the torch for Lincoln Cemetery. Betty is not able to join us today, but I know she takes great pride in this moment. The Hopkins family, who lived in this home behind us, represents the strength and determination of Gettysburg's Black community. Jack worked for more than 20 years as a janitor at Gettysburg College. His wife, Julia, and I must add, Julia's ancestors are here today with us, and thank you for being with us. Raised their children here. Their son, Edward, fought for the Union and later became the first Black elected official in Gettysburg. Think of the courage it took to keep going, to build a family and a future in the face of so many challenges. And think of where we are standing, just a few hundred yards from here. In November 1863, Abraham Lincoln called for a new birth of freedom. For families like these, and for my own family in later years, those words must have felt both inspiring and uncertain. The truth is, it has taken generations of hard work and sacrifice to get us to where we are today, and there is still work to be done. But this museum is about more than one family or even one community. It is about all of us, because Black history is American history. These stories are not separate from Gettysburg's story. They are at the very heart of it. When visitors walk through this house, they won't just learn about the Hopkins family. They'll see what we all share, the same hopes for freedom, dignity, and opportunity. They'll be reminded that our history, while sometimes painful, can also bring us together. As I look at my own children and grandchildren who are here today, I think about the stories that they will continue through them and through all the young people who will one day walk through the Hopkins House. For too long, there was no place in Gettysburg where this history was fully told. Now there will be. This house will stand as a reminder that we all are part of something larger than the struggles and triumphs of those who came before us. Live on. It will be a place where future generations can walk through the door and feel a deep sense of belonging, knowing that their story matters, that their ancestors matter, and that their history is at the very center of the American story. And for every visitor who steps inside, no matter who they are or where they come from, the Hopkins House will tell the same truth, that freedom is fragile, that progress is hard-won, but that when we honor one another's history and one another's stories, we can find strength in what we share. That is why we are here today. That is why all this matters. I hope you will join us in this exciting project to create the Hopkins House Museum. Thank you, and please join me in welcoming my friend Jackie White, the owner of Gettysburg's historic Dobbin House Tavern and a respected leader of this community.
Careful. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see so many. It's wonderful to see so many people here this afternoon. My name is Jackie White, and it is an honor to speak on behalf of Main Street Gettysburg, where I serve on the board of directors. And personally, I'm the owner of a restaurant here in this area, which Main Street now calls Old Getty's Place. I thank Jean for her moving words. They truly express the reason we are here today. Together, Main Street Gettysburg, the Adams County Historical Society, the business community, and local residents, all of us are dedicated to preserving our Gettysburg history, strengthening our neighborhoods, and building a future that honors our past. This is especially true for this neighborhood. I have to tell you that it was probably about 30 years ago, I took a tour that was sponsored by the Adams County Historical Society. Yes, that long ago, they were playing a vital role still in sharing our local history. But this tour went down the street, and we were told that here we would find ancestors of early inhabitants of Gettysburg. Some of them are here today. We would actually see Gettysburg pretty much as it looked in 1863. And we would hear centuries-old history connecting us to the earliest days of the European settlement of this area. Here, in Old Getty's Place are stories of people whose courage, faith, and determination are every bit as important to the story of Gettysburg as that 1863 battle. Stories like that of Jack Hopkins and Reverend Alexander Dobbin. I've heard a little bit about him. Yet these people are relatively unknown. They don't have statues like all those thousands that we find in our town's surrounding fields. But thankfully, there are a few monuments to them that are still here. One of them is the 1776 Dobbin House, and this one, the 1840s Hopkins House. Now, as an operating tavern, the history of the Dobbin House is becoming better known. And through our community partnership, now the Hopkins House Museum is going to become better known. It will provide a downtown venue where people will come to understand people like John Hopkins and the significance of Gettysburg's Black community and how it contributed to the larger story of our town. To see the Hopkins House restored and interpreting the lives of the Hopkins family will bring these untold stories to life. It will see this section of Gettysburg recognized for the vital role that it has always played. What a powerful example of what can happen when organizations work together towards a vision of a welcoming, a walkable, and inclusive Gettysburg, where history is preserved and actively experienced. I am so grateful for these partnerships, and I look forward to investing our combined energy to preserving a landmark such as the Hopkins House. It will draw visitors to our downtown, and it will strengthen local residents with dignity, pride, and a better quality of life today and for generations to come. Thank you. And I want you to please welcome my friend, ever since we were children, Mayor Rita Frealing.
Thank you. Whoops. Jackie and I grew up down the road from each other. We were neighbors. And if anybody's from Gettysburg, I'm going to take you back. Does anybody remember Fantasyland? My mother said I hated ducking underneath that door. But anyway, I am very happy to be here. And this means a lot to me. And I generally don't get emotional in public. But when I was running for mayor the first time, the woman who lived in this house, Rosie, supported me and took my cards around and handed them out. She was one of my first supporters. So this home means a lot to me personally. And I think it's just great that we're going to have an African American museum in Gettysburg. Now, what I'm going to do, everybody's told you all this history, but I'm proud to serve as mayor of Gettysburg. I did something. I'm the first woman and the first African American to be elected. It is so funny. People ask me, they said, why did you do that? I said, since I was 4 years old, I wanted to be mayor of Gettysburg or president of the United States. I had high ambitions. But anyway, this means so much to me. And just a little bit more of the history of this neighborhood. Across the street is the Gettysburg Academy. That was forerunner of Gettysburg College and the seminary. Anybody else that goes back to Gettysburg, right there was Calvin Lovett's barbershop. He was the first black barber in Gettysburg. All the way down this street, it's filled with history. I live right beside the AME Zion Church in a Civil War house. And I'm proud to be a part of this neighborhood. I grew up here. I played here. I had fun in high school here. Hey, you got to keep it late. But anyway, but it's not only about our history, our black history. It's about American history. And I keep saying this, and I want to drive this home. That battle that was down the street from here, well, actually, it went all through the streets from here, saved our nation. And with the 250th anniversary of our nation coming out, remember, the Union was born in Philadelphia, but it was preserved right here in Gettysburg. And I hope this museum can be a place we can gather and reflect and recognize how much we have in common. A place that shows the world is not only where the nation was tested, but also where people came hard and built something lasting. I also will bring this up. I was a seasonal park ranger, so I love history. And I portrayed in a program called Women of the War Living History, Mary Biggs, who was the wife of Basil Biggs, who lived down the road. So stop by and see me. Don't stay long. My little dog is nasty. But I could tell you a lot about Gettysburg, and even being a seasonal park ranger. There's my bossy sister. Now there she is. Okay, there she is. That's a part of Gettysburg history because she is the descendant of James Getty. Yep. There, you can ask her about that. Yeah, what's your grandmother's name or great-grandmother?
Well, my great-grandfather was Wilberforce Geddes, who was the grandson of General James Geddes.
See, they're related. Yeah, and there's her cousin, Kevin, who was an excellent principal at New Oxford High School. Stand up, Kevin. I brag about you all the time. He set records. And there are people all around here. We just don't know who we are and where we've come from. So because I grew up down the road from where Lincoln gave his Gettysburg Address, 2.5 minutes. I keep my speeches short. But I will say this, and if anybody knows him, I appreciate my high school teachers, especially Terry Fox. Because Mr. Fox, we were in high school, and he said, stand up and look out the window. You're standing on one of the best and greatest battlefields in the world, and most of you will not take time to learn about it. I took his challenge, and I did learn about this battlefield. And I will love him to this day for that. So anyway, I think I run over my 2.5 minutes. I usually don't do that. But I'm just glad. I can't believe all the people who showed up here. This is what makes me proud about Gettysburg. And this is what makes me adore it and love it. And I will be very hard to leave this place. I love it. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrew Dalton. I'm the president and CEO of Gettysburg History. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. Before I begin, I just want to thank the English family and the Gettysburg Academy for hosting us across the street. After we finish, you're more than welcome to go over, and we've got some refreshments and some beautiful pictures and artifacts to look at. Not long ago, this house was in danger of being lost forever. It had been condemned, filled with debris, and demolition was a near certainty. But thanks to the quick action of several donors, we were able to save it. And today, instead of being erased from the landscape of this town, the Hopkins House is on the way to becoming a world-class museum right here in the heart of Gettysburg. Over the past 2 years, we've developed plans for the home's future. During exploratory work inside, we were thrilled to discover that the original 1840s log walls remain intact. These timbers will be carefully preserved by experts and revealed during the restoration so that visitors can step inside and even touch the very walls that sheltered Jack Hopkins and their family. I am proud to announce that this restoration will begin in the fall, in weeks, within a matter of weeks. And to achieve the highest standard, we are partnering once again with Healy Kohler Design, a world-class museum design firm in Washington, D.C. They will help us bring this dream to life with immersive exhibits and a modern addition that will welcome students, families, and visitors from across the nation. And we're also fortunate to be working with Heather Ross, a gifted architect and friend to Gettysburg History. Is Heather here somewhere? Here. The rendering that you see is a testament to her great talent. None of this, of course, would be possible without the extraordinary partnership that we have with the Lincoln Cemetery Project Association. And I want to thank from the bottom of my heart Jean Green for her incredible energy and leadership. She is an inspiration to all of us, and she is a vital asset in our community. She's a dear friend and also a beloved mother and grandmother, and like a second mom to me. I also want to pause and recognize those who carried this vision long before today. Mary Alice Nutter, who we lost recently, spearheaded the first Black History Museum effort in Gettysburg. Her determination made this day possible, and I am deeply grateful to have known her. And I'd like to honor Betty Myers, who for decades cared for Lincoln Cemetery and safeguarded the stories of Black residents in our town. I know she is very proud of the work that Jean has done for the cemetery. These individuals and many others too numerous to name laid the foundation for what we're doing here today, and we are carrying that vision forward. I'm also proud the project is guided by a dedicated committee of descendants, people who have deep roots here in Gettysburg. We meet monthly to help ensure the museum will be authentic, meaningful, and lasting. And I'd like to recognize all of the members of that committee who are here with us today: Jean Green, Linda Golden, Yvonne Myers, Kevin Thomas, Scott Hancock, Jennifer Smith, Mildred Johnson, Marie Williams, Alisha Sanders, and Jenny Knox. Thank you all. Now for some wonderful news. Just days ago, we achieved a key milestone in this project: $1 million raised. And this incredible progress is thanks to the generosity of dozens of donors, and we expect to see many more contribute in the weeks, months, and years ahead. I want to thank the Klein Family Foundations, who are champions in our community. Their commitment early on is enabling us to meet this goal, and also is in honor of someone who meant a lot to their family and to many families in this neighborhood, Catherine Stanton Carter, who lived just a stone's throw from where we're gathered today. And while we're at it, I want to thank a few others: P.K. Hoover and Sharon Mast, Ted and Susie Hurt, Gary and Grace Bream, Jackie White, Dave and Ellen Seitz, Dave and Pauline Levan, David and Sherry Malgi, and many others whose early and substantial support have made this day possible. When we bought the property, we had 3 donors who helped us put the funds together. I mentioned all 3 of them, but we call them the 3 Daves: Dave Levan, Dave Seitz, and David Malgi. So without them, this literally would not have been able to happen today. And we are now approximately halfway to our goal to realize this vision. With your help, I'm confident that we will finish this work, restore this home, and create the Hopkins House Museum, a place that will honor the remarkable stories of this community and its residents. In closing, I think it's really important to remember that history belongs to communities like ours, to people, to descendants. So many of you are here today. History is never as clean or as simple as some would like us to believe. It carries both light and shadow, struggle and triumph, pride and pain. If we allow history to speak for itself, history is honest. It's a compass that can guide us forward, but only if we embrace its complexity and don't hide from it. Within these walls, the Hopkins family built lives of remarkable meaning. And although they themselves are long gone, their stories are not. Their courage, their perseverance, their legacies are not. And if we listen, they will continue to speak to us and to generations to come. Thank you so much for being here, for contributing, for honoring these stories, for finding enough time to join us and share in this moment. And I know that together we're going to get this done. We've done big projects before. We're going to do this one with all of your help and support. And I'm confident in 2027 we'll be opening the doors to a beautiful new facility here. Thank you so much. And now it is my distinct honor to welcome a very special guest to the podium. She is the great-great-granddaughter of Basil Biggs, a remarkable historical figure in Gettysburg's past who will be highlighted prominently at this museum. and he lived at the very end of his life in that brick home just at the corner of the road. Anna Deavere Smith is an acclaimed actress, playwright, and educator whose artistry has captivated audiences around the world for more than 4 decades. Through her work, she has given voice to communities, lifted up untold stories, and reminded us of the power and empathy of storytelling. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our friend and champion who came all the way from New York City this morning to be with us, Anna Deavere Smith.
I actually came further. You don't know this, Andrew, because you would feel guilty, but I'll publicly make you so. I was on a writing retreat in the very northern part of California in Mendocino County by the Pacific Ocean, where even a mountain lion went through my backyard. And I cut it short in order to be here, because what you're doing, Andrew, is so, so important. And my sister, Jennifer, my youngest sister, she always reminds me that she will always be my younger sister. I want to publicly thank you for everything that you're doing. Yes, I'm the great-great-granddaughter of Basil Biggs. I grew up coming to Gettysburg as a child and seeing my Aunt Hannah Biggs, whose house is not that far from here, and stopping off in Harrisburg to see my great-aunt Julia Biggs and going down New York to see my great-uncle, Basil Biggs. And my brother's middle name is Biggs. My favorite uncle's name is Biggs. I have a cousin, Basil. However, it wasn't until 2014 when Henry Louis Gates, as you know, historian at Harvard, did my roots on his show, Finding Your Roots, that he told a story about Basil Biggs and several that I had never heard, and I couldn't believe it. I've been coming up here, running around in the battlefield, seeing Aunt Hannah, and not knowing some key facts about my ancestor. One was that he got the contract to hire the men who disinterred the dead after the battle. Now, in her book, This Republic of Suffering, Drew Faust, first woman president of Harvard, helps us realize how fragile identity was at that time. This wasn't, there was no system for identifying soldiers. So a lot of people died in that battlefield. We don't know who they are. Their wives and children didn't know what happened to them. And so to imagine my great-great-grandfather and the men with him pulling up these bodies and with others trying to find shreds of evidence of who these people were. History is fragile. History is monuments. History is encyclopedias. History is buildings. We think of very smart people who tell us the story of histories, but that image in and of itself tells me that history is fragile. It's active. That's what we're here to celebrate today with the work of building a world-class Black History Museum and the work that will happen to renovate this house. When I came here to start writing the play, I was fragile. I actually haven't written anything about my family. I've written many plays that are about other people, about America, very often people unlike me, very often people with different ideas that I have about America. This is my first play, and I'm 75 years old, that's about my family. And when I came here, Andrew and Miss Jean and Tim welcomed me into their archives. I think I could probably set up a pup tent outside and they'd let me do it. And so I'm just so moved and encouraged and inspired to see all of you here, because one of the words that's coming up a lot today is the word partnership. And so it's impossible to know the full story of our country, the full stories of the struggles of humans all over the world without partnerships like this. That's what it's going to take to build this museum. You're $1 million there, And I'm going to close by being absolutely crass and saying that no check is too small. Even these two little boys right there. Right there, yeah, you, uh-huh. A quarter matters. History is fragile. Let's embrace our history. Let's keep it alive. Thank you.
Slow, but I'm steady. Took me a while, but I'm here. I'm here. What's the song say? I'm still here. So anyway, my goodness, you just don't know. You just really don't know, but I'm going to share it with you. My name is Jane Nutter, and I first would like to say welcome to Honorable Mayor Frealing, Councilwoman Alisha Sanders, and guests, Ms. Deavere Smith. Thank you, and all of you, thank you for being here. Like I said, my name is Jane Nutter. I grew up here, right around the corner on Franklin Street, and I'm a native Black Gettysburgian here in the 3rd Ward, is what we called it, the 3rd Ward. Now, it's my honor and privilege to have served as the president of the former Gettysburg Black History Museum. Thank you, Andrew. Of the former Gettysburg Black History Museum located at Valentine Hall at United Lutheran Seminary. I had the pleasure of serving with a very supportive board with whom some are here. Jenny's here, and I will mention some other ones then. I had, that time was very, very emotional for me because I took the reins from my sister, Mary Alice, who started this years ago. And I'll tell you a lovely little story about that too. So anyway, and I thank each one of them for supporting me. And while standing here talking about all of this, everything here, I'm not here by myself. I feel the ancestors here with me. They all lived up and down this street, and they're here. They're here, and I can hear the stories from the Watts family, the Thomas family, the Biggs family, the Carters, the Kings, the Hankey brothers who owned a store right on the corner that fed the Black community here on the bill, put it on the bill, and just wonderful memories that I can think of. It's called Black Joy. And we had that. Even though we struggled, there was Black joy. So having said all of that, when the museum, the Gettysburg Black History Museum, decided to donate all of their artifacts, their photos, the ephemera, and all of that to Gettysburg history, because we knew it would be a place that would be permanent and last forever. So, like Ms. Deavere said, quarters count. They do, because we needed a place that was permanent and people that would oversee and tell our stories in our words so that, and you will hear this repeated constantly. It's the American story. It's not just a Black story. It's the American story. And I'm happy to say here that will happen. Now let me share a little bit of insight on how this journey began. As I recall, it began over 25 years ago with my mother, Margaret Nutter, sitting around a kitchen table made in 1863, and that table is still in my family, and we're still using it, and we're still having discussions around it. Yikes, if that table could talk. Yikes. So this one day, Mary Alice and my mom were sitting there talking. Now, those of you that knew my mother, Margaret Nutter, knew she loved to have fun, but she did not play. And so let me paraphrase what she said. And she would always say this when she meant business. Say, look-a-here, Mayor. There's a lot of Black history here in Gettysburg, important Black history, and the story is not being shared. You need to do something about it. Get on it. So Mary Alice, being the person that she was, got on it. So she started to collect artifacts, photos, materials from the Gettysburg Black community, and they supported her strongly. And I can still see her sitting around that table with folks that began that journey with her. I can see Jean Odom, I can see Ann Lipscomb, I can see Roger Smith, I can see so many, Mickey Patrick, Suzanne Murky, who was here today, sitting around that table. And sometimes those discussions were very fiery, but they got the job done. And I have to say this, Mary Alice stuck to making sure that the story was being told in our words. And that's very, very important. And she had the support of the Black community and the community at large. And she understood the importance of respectful collaboration because you couldn't get it done by yourself. If you knew Mary Alice, you knew she was tireless and she was a fearless advocate. During these years, Black history gained attention. Books were written about the Gettysburg Black American community. It was always Mary Alice's dream to have a Black History Museum in the 3rd Ward. So this is the culmination of a dream. We lost her last year, but I know she's standing right here with me right now, and she's smiling because she said, Jean Speen, we got it done. And I want to thank the members of the Gettysburg Black History Board of Directors, Jenny's here, Reverend Dr. Martin Zinman, Jean Green, Andrew Dalton, and Andrew, I know it's been like herding cats sometimes, and the community and the benefactors, past, present, and those to come, benefactors. And I know, Jeannie, you will make sure that this project is seen through and being a good steward and the keeper of our stories in all our words, all the while continuing to do your dedicated work for Lincoln Cemetery. Thank you. And I know it's not easy. Someone shared with me many, many years ago a wonderful metaphor. I'm sure Richmond was used because of Gettysburg's history. There are many roads to Richmond, just so we all get to Richmond. Well, I think we've made it to Richmond. Okay, now it's my great, yes. I know it's now my great pleasure to introduce our final speaker from the 3rd Ward, our Councilwoman Alisha Wanzel Sanders. She is a fierce advocate, a trailblazer, a teacher, a friend. Alisha also grew up right around the corner. So she is a child of the 3rd Ward also. Okay, now this won't be pretty. I gotta recognize Roll Tide over there. They're playing now. Alisha, break a leg. Indeed. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for coming out. I'm thrilled that this crowd is here today. I'm actually really surprised, to be quite honest. I was thinking it might be maybe 10 people, 20 at the most, and so this is really incredible, so thank you. My name is Alisha Wanzel Sanders, and I'm a proud resident of Gettysburg's 3rd Ward, and I currently serve as its representative on the Borough Council. In this community, it is in this community that I was born and raised, following several generations of family who called this neighborhood home. In fact, over 100 years ago, my great-grandmother, Mary Reed Penn, raised her children, including my grandfather, Joseph Wanzel, in a home that still stands only a few steps away. In fact, I can see the porch from here. This community that was born largely by free Black people, nurtured by free Black people, and protected by free Black people deserves our attention. The Hopkins House has weathered nearly 2 centuries of change in Gettysburg, quietly carrying the untold stories of resilience, family, and freedom. It is more than just a wooden structure. It is a living testament to the courage of Jack and Julia Hopkins, to Edward's service in the United States Colored Troops, and to the generations of Black families who helped shape this community. Stories of these families must be preserved and shared with future generations, and it was the dream of local legacy Mary Alice Nutter to see to it that they live on. As many of you know, Mary Alice spent much of her life's work after retirement advocating for a Black History Museum in the heart of Gettysburg's 3rd Ward. Her mother, Margaret, urged her to make this dream a reality. She, along with her sister, Jane Nutter, family, and colleagues, worked tirelessly to curate artifacts and to share and collect numerous stories, effectively establishing Gettysburg's first Black History Museum, which will now have a permanent home in the Hopkins House. Thanks to the remarkable work and advocacy of Andrew Dalton, CEO of Gettysburg History, Jean Green, Lincoln Cemetery Project Association President, Tim Smith, Adams County Historian, and the generous support of the Adams County Historical Society Board, it has been saved from condemnation. Its original log walls have been uncovered, and we are able to imagine what is possible. But this campaign is not just about restoring a building. It's about restoring memory, reclaiming heritage, and ensuring that Black history stands visibly and proudly in the very heart of Gettysburg. Now, with your help, we can guarantee that this home shelters Gettysburg's first Black History Museum, a place where children on field trips, families, and visitors from across the nation can encounter the history that textbooks too often leave behind. So I invite you to take part in this mission, whether through a gift, through advocacy, or by sharing this vision with others. You are helping to transform the Hopkins House into a beacon of learning, reflection, and pride for generations to come. Together, let's honor the Hopkins family, preserve this home, and ensure that Gettysburg Black history will never again be hidden in the shadows. Thank you for joining us on this journey.
Thank you, everyone. I'll say again, I invite you to come up and see some of the photographs and enjoy some refreshments at the Gettysburg Academy. Thank you for being here today.